So I'm at my hotel in Pittsburgh getting ready to leave for Cincinnati. As I learned getting to the hotel, the scariest ride in the Pittsburgh area is not at Kennywood. It's a Pittsburgh freeway near downtown, just after rush hour. Yeah, Pittsburgh is one of the toughest cities to get around I've ever seen. There's a lot of the freeways, they're like poorly designed freeways from the 50s, and Pittsburgh's geography doesn't help the situation at all. So, Cincinnati's supposed to be rainy, like thunderstorms. Hopefully I can get into Kings Island tonight. If not, tomorrow was supposed to be my down day, so I'll go in tomorrow instead. Well, I'll just see when I get there. Made it to Kings Island. So far, rides appear to be operating. So I'll try to get on as many as I can in case it starts raining later. That's a beautiful looking entry plaza. And the skyline looks very different from how it did last time I was here. That was like 10 years ago. Banshee. This is a new credit for me, and one that I'm excited for. Alright, so a few of the rides here have Cedar Point's locker policy, which personally, I don't mind that, but the only problem is you actually have to pay for them here. Alright, so one note, locker number 5213 has the wrong number on it. Like, I was able to figure out what it was by reading the others, but I kind of need to change this labeling. Getting off Banshee right now. Rode front row on the purple train. Great ride, forceful, and no rattle at all. And I've heard a lot about this ride having a rattle, but either there's no rattle in the front, there's no rattle on the purple train, or the complaints that the rattle were far over exaggerated. Any one of the three could be true. Kings Island has a fake Chipotle now. It's not bad, a little bland, but at least you can add jalapenos on it to make it taste all right. All right, I'm really excited to ride the Vekoma Flying Dutchman. Really underrated ride. One of my favorite rides when I was here. Hey, wait a minute, who put that? So this is my first B&M Giga. Really excited to experience the memeable brake run. Alright, so Orion is actually really good. I didn't come in with the highest of expectations given the mixed reviews, but I would almost call that the sleeper hit of the trip. The first half is not very forceful, but it's more about the speed. And the second half is where the forces kick in. Like, you have good floater over all the hills. The Helix is surprisingly intense. Yeah. Not in my top 10 or anything, but I would call it the sleeper hit of the trip. Radium XL 200. I see what you did there. But you don't need to go to Ohio to ride the Magnum. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. So after round 2 on Orion, I can say that ride is a lot more forceful than people give it credit for. I actually grayed out in the Helix. Next I'm going to be riding Vortex. Vortex is my favorite aero looper from that era. I find it to be among the smoothest, and it's much better than Viper and Anaconda. Hey, wait a minute. Mystic Timbers. Never ridden this before. Really excited to see what's in the shed. I bet it's something great. I'm 100% sure it's not a marketing campaign and that it'll absolutely live up to the hype. All right, so it looks like that thunderstorm that was supposed to come in is now coming in. According to Google, it's only supposed to last an hour, if that. So I can just find shelter and wait this out. Luckily, Kings Island has beer. Actually, so far, I'm beginning to wonder if that's really a thunderstorm coming in or if it's just Cedar Fair being Cedar Fair. So when I was driving down here, I saw a billboard in the middle of nowhere in rural Ohio that said nothing but hell is real. Of course it's real. It was in rural Ohio. Is there a billboard at Disneyland that says Disneyland is real? Is there a billboard in Paris that says Paris is real? No, duh. Tell me something I don't know. So that shutdown was not too bad. It was only a half hour. So Mystic Timbers is exactly what I'd expect from a modern GCI. Good, but I was expecting better given all the hype I heard about it. I heard this ride's pretty moody, so I'm gonna try riding it a few more times to see if maybe I got a bad seat or a bad train. Got off Diamondback. I mean, it's a B&M Hyper. That's my opinion of it. To me, they're basically all the same except for Shambhala, the Beast. So, never been the biggest fan of this ride except for at night. And I appreciate the historic value. And that's the Beast. I mean, it's long, not super intense. I get that it was groundbreaking for its time, but I'm not the biggest fan. Woodstock Express. These family wood coasters are actually a guilty pleasure of mine, not gonna lie. They're actually pretty fun, in my opinion. Sometimes I get real airtime on them too. So Woodstock of all rides broke down when I was in the front. I think that's the universe saying, you're an adult, stop credit whoring on kiddie coasters. So it's gently raining at about 90 minutes to closing, which by Cedar Fair standards is basically a thunderstorm. So I thought the park was open later, but they might have shortened the hours since I bought my tickets. I mean, I got in all the best rides, a couple of rides on each, so I'm not too mad. But yeah, I mean, day could have gone better, but take what I can get. Tomorrow's Hollywood Nights. That's kind of the reason why I drove out here. So I'd call it a success, even if today I didn't get on everything I wanted. So I'm actually considering coming back tomorrow to get in a lot of the minor rides that I missed. And I wanted to see downtown Cincinnati. I've heard that's pretty nice, but we'll see what I do. So when you're traveling the Midwest around this time, you're basically playing Russian roulette with the weather. So I figured something like this was bound to happen. But honestly, if I were to get rained out at any park along this trip, it would be Kings Island. Because if I'm being honest, I don't really love any of the coasters at this park. I liked Orion a lot. I liked it better than I was expecting. But there are no coasters here that make me want to rush back here to ride. Except for the Beast at night, but at this time of year the park isn't open that late. They close at 8, so you can't really get night rides on the Beast. Besides, I'll be getting night rides on the Voyage tomorrow night, which more than makes up for missing out on the Beast. So it basically lost hope of the rides reopening, but I'm still staying in the park. Just because sometimes I like being at amusement parks, even when I'm not riding things. With 45 minutes left, they are testing rides, so let's hold out hope. Flight of Fear is still open. Right, Orion actually reopened, as well as most of the rest of the park. So that's just over a half hour left. Might get on everything I want to after all. So the sky's cleared up, and I did get a few last rides on Orion. Man, I could have finished the other rides I didn't get in, but honestly, I know I'd enjoy riding Orion a lot more. So overall, still a good day at Kings Island. Really looking forward to Hollywood Nights tomorrow. Also, this is kind of a note, but when you do rent a locker, remember the locker number. I remembered my combination, but not the locker number. So I ended up having to spend the last 30 minutes finding out which one was mine. I know that's kind of an obvious thing, but that is totally something I would do. All right, so I decided to come back to Kings Island for the day. All right, so I'm back at Kings Island today this morning. Catching a few rides in the morning, the ones that I missed. Let's see, mostly minor rides. Much nicer out today and more crowded with Invertigo. Last Invertigo left in the Cedar Fair chain. You know, blitzing through the park, not a bad idea to start on this ride as it's pretty much a walk. Surprised Kings Island has kept this thing open, if I'm being honest. Just did the drop tower. I mean, it's a good drop tower. It's cool if this one rotates on the way up, but other than that, it's exactly what you expect. Adventure Express. From what I remember, this is a pretty good mine train. So Adventure Express, it's a mine train. Another janky aero mine train with some nice theming. Boarding the Racer. Another historically significant ride. I remember this having decent airtime. So my ride on the Racer was rough and didn't have much airtime. It might not have been warmed up yet, though. Flight of Fear. It's really cool of Cedar Fair to theme a roller coaster to the History Channel. These kinds of aliens would never visit us if they're looking for intelligent life. This ride has a surprisingly long line for Fastlane. Apparently at Kings Island, the B-tier rides get surprisingly long lines. Alright, so this is the real ending to my Kings Island visit. Gonna try to see downtown Cincinnati for a little bit, and then it's off to Hollywood Nights.